Hello everybody, this is Damien the Carman, and what we're doing today is a transmission fluid change on a 2003 540, and of course that's an E39 chassis vehicle. And a good thing about the way I'm going to show you how to do it today, just a simple fluid flush should only take no more than 20-25 minutes. One of the best things, best tools you should try to get to do this job is one of these syringe pumps. This is a multiple vac syringe pump. I ordered it off eBay, and the great thing about this particular pump is I can just take off the top and pour over a quart of transmission fluid in this pump and pump it straight into the car. Another feature that I love about this particular pump is it has a metal nipple on the end, and that fits perfectly in the fill port where the drain tube, where the drain plug comes out. It fits in perfectly. It allows for minimal spillage, so definitely if you're going to be working on these types of cars where you have to pump the fluid inside the transmission, spend you about 40 or 50 bucks, get this pump, that's going to be money well spent. Come over here and I'll show you exactly what we're going to be doing. Right here, we're going to take the drain plug out of the bottom of the transmission. 4 or 5 quarts should flow out of that. Typically what I like to do is measure exactly how much fluid comes out my vehicle, so I'll know a guesstimation or of how much I should put back in. And once we drain all the fluid out, we're going to tighten that plug back in. And over here, this is that plug right there. That's how we're going to fill it back up. So the proper way to do this job is to, of course, fill the fluid, drain the fluid out. Once the fluid is drained, replace the plug, fill to capacity through this drain plug. And what's going to happen is the car needs to not be running at this point. You're going to fill it until the fluid starts to run out. Once the fluid starts to run out, you're going to replace the drain plug, crank the car up, and let the car warm up and go through all the gears. Best thing to do is just put it in drive for a little while, put it back to neutral, go to reverse, back to neutral, back to drive. At that point, get up under the car while the car is running and fill the fluid through this port until the fluid starts to run out again. At that point, you should have plenty of fluid in the transmission, and the car should be ready to go. So let's get started. Now I'm about to loosen the drain plug. And like I said before, when I drain this fluid, I like to have an idea on how much fluid is coming out. So I'm just going to use a 1 gallon jug to drain this in, just to kind of give me an idea how much is coming out. Here we go. Ooh, step action. Like I said, when I do this, typically I can get right at 4 quarts out of the bottom of this pan. I'm not for sure if the capacity of the oil pan differs between models. but this is certainly a good way to kind of gauge on how much fluid is actually coming out the car. Oh. Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, that's well over four quarts, because this container is a 1 gallon container and it filled all the way up. And a good way of doing this is putting it on top of a drain pan, so if it starts to spill out, you don't make a mess. It just simply spills into the top of the drain pan. So that's a good clean way of making just a complete mess of everything. Now I'm just going to replace the drain plug. Okay. Let me move this out of the way. I'm just gonna I said what's neat about this syringe tube is you can just pour your fluid directly in the top of the tube. And I'm not here to debate or try to sell anybody on any particular fluid, but I've been doing this for about 5 years, and even in my personal vehicle, I use the Valvoline Max Life Full Synthetic Transmission Oil. It's been working fine. I know some people will think that to be sacrilegious, being that BMW recommends a specific fluid for this car. Like I said, whatever fluid you want to use, that's up to you. I'm not going to debate that. This is just what I use. And like I said, I've had my car has over 200,000 miles on it. And after all the research that I've done, I decided to, just go with the Valvoline. I change it out about once a year or every 20,000 miles. And yeah, it's fun. So now that I have that full, I am going to take off the drain plug. And at this point, the transmission pan is pretty much empty. So we'll just we'll go ahead and insert our little end into that, and it's just that easy. Push it in. what we're going to do, we're going to fill this up until the fluid starts to run out. Filling. Okay, you see it starting to come out. So what we're gonna do, we gotta be quick about doing this, because when it comes out, it comes out. Oh man. Put this right here. Yeah, this is probably the messiest part, just overfilling it and trying to cut it off before you lose too much fluid. Okay, now we're just going to cut the car on, let it heat up and drive it through all the gears, and we'll do the same thing with the car running. Now once we tighten that up, that'll be it. There you go. You should be able to drain and fill your transmission fluid in an E39 chassis car in no more than 25 to 30 minutes. Hope that you learned something, and if you like what you saw, just subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or concerns, you're more than welcome to contact me, and thanks.